Hello again. Today we're talking about policies and procedures. Again. Yes, policies and procedures. It's basically our job, right? The things that make our team's jobs easier. The stuff that helps them be able to know what to do when that thing comes up that they weren't expecting. Here's why I want to bring this up, because I'm moving our policies and procedures over at my office. I mentioned that already in previous videos. Go check them out. But I want to also mention it because my team sometimes doesn't like policies and procedures. You might be saying to yourself, how in the heck is that possible for somebody to not like policies and procedures? It makes their job easier. It helps them do the things that they do. I know, but listen, it also can feel like restrictions for some people, right? Guardrails, things that keep them from feeling like they have the flexibility that they think they want to have in their jobs. And so we have to communicate to them why the policies and procedures are so important. I did this in what I think is a pretty unique way. It just came to me at our last training last week. I had everyone on our team split into two groups, and they assembled Lego sets. So each group had the same Lego set. Each Lego set, they could each be turned into three different things. It was one of the 3-in-1s. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. They were asked to build whatever of the three items they'd like, whatever creature. I think it was like snake, scorpion, or a spider. And the rule was they couldn't use the instructions to start. So I let them work together in two separate groups. It was like 4 or 5 per group to try to build these Lego sets with no instructions. And it was funny. It was very funny to see what they were coming up with and what they were building, to watch them try to organize each other without knowing who needed really to do what. They couldn't even separate out the pieces correctly because they didn't know bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, what all that was. So it was pretty funny. About halfway through our 30-minute little time frame there for that, or maybe it was more like 10 minutes in, I threw the instructions for what they were building down on the table and said, "Congrats, you can use these now." So as you might expect, this changed everything. They got their instructions and they were able to put together the Lego set the way it was designed to be put together. It was a very different experience from then on. They were working together. What was funny is we had one couple of people that kept trying to double down on the way they were building it before they had the instructions. They were trying to say, hey, we have this, we've got it, we don't need those, I think we're good, we're on our way. And they were getting close to what it was supposed to be. They chose the easiest thing, and they were getting close to the way it was supposed to be built, but they weren't going to do it correctly. And someone else on their same group said, "No, we have the instructions, we need to use them now." And I was like, bingo, I've got myself my object lesson. And so whenever we finished that project, they built their spider and their snake, respectively. We sat down and talked about why we have policies and procedures in our office. We talked about why we have to have our instructions for how we do things and how we can think we know or think about the way that it makes sense to us to get it done. And that's not always, or usually is not, correct. Our standard operating procedures exist to take that pressure off of us. They're not rules and regulations. They exist to take the pressure off. So this is what is expected of me to set this up in the way the company I work for wants it done and set up. So I tried to communicate that. I brought in Artemis too, the story of the going to take an observation of the backside of the moon and how they went up there and they needed to tilt the capsule they were in 5% so that they could get a better view, and they had to request it. It went to the science team. The science team did their calculations, and like 20, 30 minutes later came back and said, "All right, run the procedure." They ran the procedure. That's a great example. A little 5-degree shift could mean a lot if you don't do it correctly, and that's what our policies and procedures do. So I just thought I'd share a fun little anecdote of how I used Legos and a mission to see the moon to help my team understand why we should embrace and enjoy our standard operating procedures or policies and procedures and not hate them. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying different stuff. I'm trying to talk about different things, be a little more face-to-face to the camera. So if you like that, subscribe, tell somebody, And check out kmichaelprince.com to learn about clinic manager coaching. Thanks. Bye.